to recognize their inventive ways of educating students, but also to recognize their tenacity and willingness to continually challenge the status quo. It is these types of characteristics that endear these instructors to their students, and at times have given me heartburn. Without further ado, I give you Lenina Close and Julian Dunraven.
Good evening, all. And first, congratulations on a job well done. Frankly, for most of my students who are graduating, no matter what the future holds, you can now know that you never have to sit through one of my 6-hour exams again, and that alone should be worthy of celebration. But the future also has some challenges, some severe challenges. You knew I couldn't get up here and just talk sweetness and light. And it's going to be interesting how you meet those challenges. For those of you on the linear side of criminal justice and business, you know the troubles that are awaiting. You studied economics with me, and you're well aware of the world that we are entering and facing. You are entering a market in which there is the highest barriers to entry that have ever been in history. We have the most regulations that we have ever placed on businesses and companies in history. And my friends in the Congressional Budget Offices have called me just last week to inform me that yes, indeed, we are again entering another recession, this one longer and deeper than the one in 2008. So the years ahead are going to be very different than some of us anticipated. And you're going to have the challenge of dealing with that. For those of you on the medical side, you enter the field of medicine at probably its most severely trying time in our history. Already hospitals and community health centers across the country are struggling for their survival. Doctors and their staffs are trying very hard to make things work under crippling regulation and ever-increasing costs. These are the challenges that you're going to have to meet. So how do you go about doing it? Well, I have a few words of advice for you before I let you all go. To deal with these difficult and frightening times. The first thing I want you all to remember is that your education is far more than just job training or skill acquisition. Your education fundamentally is the acquisition of character and the accumulation of principles that will help you navigate not only the workforce, but your life and communities as well. For the medical side, cling to the professionalism that you learned in your classes here. That will be your biggest tool in succeeding in the troubling times we have ahead of us. If you can remember that you are dealing with human patients and providing care, in addition to just entering data on a computer that has so infested our medical system, or plugging in hours at a time clock, if you can be that person who can dedicate the hours above and beyond what you are required to do, and do it with a smile without complaint, if you can adapt to the constantly changing circumstances and make sure that you're providing good care, you'll be just fine. You're that type of person that our medical system so desperately needs. For those of you in the criminal justice and business side, you already have more economics and financial training than most college graduates will ever understand. You have had 2 solid years of training in liberty and justice, and you are familiar with the principles of freedom and of your rights, not just as privileges granted to you by government or anyone else, but as moral absolutes inherent in your birth. As we face troubling times ahead, it is never more important that there are those people in our policy-making positions and in positions of law enforcement that can defend and promote those principles. That's now on you. And in a time where people are already skeptical of government and very angry at law enforcement, it will be a task, but all of you are ready for it. To all of you, I would say the biggest element of your education that you can take away from here is any principle that you have that will help you embrace integrity and truth in everything you do. That is the number one thing all of my clients and all of our business clients here at Everest who hire our students have told us is important to them, and it's very clear why. In all of your classes, you have received training in how to implement that sort of principle and how to make it real in your life. I'm going to give you one extra tip. Whenever you are faced with a decision, whenever you are trying to decide how you should act, moral choice, I want you to think about it in such a way that you can universalize it. Imagine the moment, if you will, if everyone on Earth, when faced with the problem you are looking at, behaves in the manner that you are behaving. Is that a world that you would want to live in? Is that a world that you like? Or is it a world that works at all? If you can answer that question, you will be a person of integrity. You will be someone who pursues truth. And you will be that person everyone else can count on. You will be the representative of Everest College that we want to project to the world. And you will be our legacy. This college campus is closing. We're ending a long era, and some of us, including Professor Close and myself, will not be going to Thornton. For us, this is goodbye. And as we leave, no longer as your professors, you are no longer our students. Now, you are our representatives. We can no longer instill you with the principles we so cherish. Now it's going to be on you to make those principles real and bring them to the rest of the world. And I think you're all well prepared to do it. And so, Everest College, you now hold our legacy, and what you make of it and our memory is up to you. I have great confidence in your future, and I say to you, congratulations. Now go forth and make us proud.